Hey guys, I'm sorry for this, but I'm canceling the Lost Media series just for now. It's because I'm not having as much fun as I thought I would. So this is gonna be the last episode for a while. So I'm gonna be talking about Lost Anime, Lost, Lost Games, and a Lost Song. Wait a minute. Okay. I was just checking. Okay. This is actually gonna be a bit difficult. So yeah. Oh yeah, I'll be skipping some animes. So the first one we have is Alive: The Final Evolution. So it is unknown how much work, if any, was done in the anime. Let me see. Hey, look! See, Anime News has stuff about it. Okay, so sorry if I mispronounce some of the names. So Tezuki Kanu is your average 16-year-old student. He has two close friends, Hirose and Megumi. Hirose has trouble with bullies, but Tezuki is always there to defend him, even though he just winds up getting beaten instead of Hirose. During class one day, Tezuki is hit by something unworldly, and for that split second, he sees a vision of the universe. As he's walking home from school, he sees a girl fall and die in front of him. But his first thought is jealousy. He later finds out that the strange sensation that hit him is fighting throughout Japan. Those who are struck by it either um unalive themselves or evolve, but the evolved usually have dark intentions for the rest of the world. So yeah. Anime Tenchu X2 Who Project. Two Project is a large series of shooting bullet hell video games developed by Team Shenge Alice, known by being developed by only one person called Zun. Why does he look like Ash Ketchum a little bit? Okay, Ape Escape. Oh wow! It aired on Nicktoons. Okay. Next we have Big X. So as you can see, it's partially found. The plot focuses on a boy with a drug that can increase his body to that of a giant, a result of a failed experiment from the Nazis during World War II. Of course, I'm not showing you any of it because of it being subtitled. Calmero. It's partially found. The show would be dubbed into many different European languages in its lifetime. However, the original Japanese audio remains to be some of the most elusive among fans. There were 45 episodes made for the show. Of course, I'm not showing you any of it because of it being in Japanese, so yeah. Sho Kusoku Galvion? I hope I'm saying that right. It's partially found. In the 23rd century, billionaire Midoriyama creates a secret organization called Circus to combat a hidden group called Shadow that is taking over the world. When she can't find qualified pilots for Circus's main mecha, the Galvion, she cuts a deal with two convicts, Mu and Maya, to lead the fight against Shadow. Cyborg Koro-chan. It's lost. The plot of Cyborg Koro-chan revolves around a cat named Koro who cannot defend himself. One day, while out on a date with his girlfriend, Koro is kidnapped by an evil scientist named Dr. Go, who turns Kuro into a robot and tries to make him a part of the Neon Neon or Nyan Nyan army. After removing a chip that was embedded in him, Kuro sets off to defeat Dr. Go. Kuro ends up disguising himself with the skin of a stuffed animal but continues to live as a pet. Demashita Powerpuff Girls Z. Partially found Toei Pitch Pilot. This is one of my favorite animes, despite never watching it. It's partially found. A year before its forecast, Toei had previewed a pitch pilot for the series at the Tokyo Anime Festival. This version displayed several differences compared to the final product. Here's 15 seconds. Doraemon. Partially found. The very first attempt to adapt Doraemon to television occurred in 1973 with a series produced by a company named NTV Video, previously known under the names of Japan Broadcast Film and Tokyo TV Movie. Sorry, guys. What?
I need you to help me.
I'm doing a video.
Yeah. You do explore.
A video.
We're doing a piece on waterfalls.
Oh, you come to the right place.
I gotta go
Well,
pee.
Thanks for walking me out.
Next time, stick with the door.
I will. Thanks for letting me use your camera.
Oh,
You're welcome.
Good luck. It's a pretty good photo.
What? Wait a minute. BB.
Hannah Balloon
Huh?
hosted a blog on the 1973 anime and thus a page that included audio clips to the tape was made but has since been deleted.
Hey, Leo, quick question.
Yeah.
Video footage of the opening and ending credits
Found or rare.
do still exist,
My go-to person.
along with a pilot film that was produced in 1972.
You hear from me, but that will be
These are occasionally shown at
Behind me.
never to be found.
318 at Doraemon fan conventions in Japan, but cannot be released legally owing to rights complicated due to the production studio being defunct. Some episodes of the series also only survive in still image form.
I'll call you when I'm ready.
It is unknown what may have happened to the other reels. Okay. F-Zero GP Legend. I know. You guys are probably groaning because of the 4Kids thing. But hey, 4Kids actually does have some good dubs. Like Sonic X and Pokemon. And also Winx Club. So F-Zero is lost. Well, some episodes are. Taking place in the year 2201, F-Zero GP Legend revolves around a character named Ryu Zuzaku, Rick Wheeler in the dub. After suffering an injury at work, Ryu is placed into cryogenic freeze until a cure for his injuries could be found. By the time a cure was found, it was 150 years after he was injured. Having been brought back by the secret galactic police, Ryu is now tasked with stopping corruption within the F-Zero races. Ugh. What? I guess I'll do that now.
Now?
Fun fact, it's actually from Nintendo.
What?
What I was talking about in my video.
Wait a minute. Can you flush the
Yes.
when you come back?
Okay, guys. So, I know I said I'm only talking about anime, video games, and music with only one song. But, guess what? I really want to talk about Food Fight. This is the original. Oof. Because I cannot forget to talk about the original Food Fight. Because some people don't even know what the original was. So, Food Fight was partially found. Okay, so here's the thing. Food Fight is a CGI animated movie from Threshold Animation Studios, considered by many to be one of the worst animated films of all time. The early version of the film seemed to be a lot different from the original. and was slated for a Christmas 2003 release. However, the original files were deleted by the film's creator, and production was stuck in development hell.
What's wrong with
For
that computer?
nothing
It's got black, white on top and the bottom when it's black.
for a decade.
Huh?
Nothing. I'm talking in my video.
All right.
You don't have one day off.
Development hell is when something like takes a really long time to come out, kind of like Earthbound 64.
Begs the question.
I think that's the game.
What do you do together?
And kind of like Yandere Simulator right now.
We go hiking.
I had a hunch.
I don't think the original files were deleted. I actually think they were stolen.
Here's the deal. I have to photograph at least 4 of the waterfalls by the end of the week. And not the simple ones. I need to capture the ones that people don't see.
Wait a minute.
Like Little Bessie.
Betsy. Little Betsy.
See? That's the point. I'm gonna get it wrong in the article. And to top it off, there's a high probability that I'll get lost or eaten by a grizzly bear. Never seen again.
Oh, in this neck of the woods, grizzlies are no joke matter.
Seriously?
Here's the original trailer.
Good idea.
Even more reason why I need.
Yeah, very good lead injection, are you?
His name was Dexter, a great detective. And with his pal Daredevil Dan, he would always get his man. But when she vanished, he was a
Yes,
failure.
this is the
So he
original
stopped being a
trailer.
sleuth, cause he couldn't find the truth.
No.
Her name is Brand X, she is the new girl. And when she walked into his place, wow, the look on every face. But could he trust her? He didn't think so. Something didn't seem quite right.
Yes.
Tell me what's an exobite on dance? The action made them wreck. He lost his love, maybe now his nightclub. But will Dex get X after Copa? Copa Banana, the hottest spot north of Havana. Yo, sweet cakes. You despise me, don't you?
But I think it's because she likes boy.
A boy?
Too young, right?
Well, how old is she?
11.
I have a playlist full of food fights stuff,
No.
and
That's when boys get
I will probably leave a link in the description for the playlist. So yeah. Okay, and I have to, of course, talk about Frozen as well. So the early draft is partially found. So, fun fact, in 2008, the name was Anna and the Snow Queen. They were not related. Okay, so here we are. Here.
At the time, Elsa was a villain. She was still probably coming down the mountain later with her army of evil snowmen to like terrorize the village. So we were still writing a villain song. And we started getting into the headspace of what you'd feel like if you were that isolated.
Lock the gates. We'll reduce the staff. We will limit her contact with people.
Wait.
Get away from society and be who she really was.
And then Bobby came up with this vamp. Do you want to play the vamp?
Sure.
And sometimes when we're working in our little studio, he'll play something that just sends chills up my arms and all over my
So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
When it comes to the
after
abandoned animations by Disney,
original.
they tend to fall into one of two categories. Ones that were shelved and never saw the light of day, such as those we've explored in previous episodes, and the ones that were shelved, then revived, drastically altered from the initial vision, and eventually became a reality. Some of them even became classic Disney animations, and those are the ones we're diving into on this episode of Yesterworld. In the late 1980s, a pitch meeting was held at Disney by new studio chief Jeffrey Katzenberg and Roy Disney, with the goal of finding new stories to revitalize the animation department. One of the suggestions was to return to Walt Disney's tried and true passion for adapting classic fairy tales, which of course began with Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But among other classics such as Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and Pinocchio, he also attempted to adapt Beauty and the Beast, but Walt Disney really struggled to rework the story for modern audiences and was eventually shelved. So it was decided to give Beauty and the Beast another go, and work began on reimagining the fairy tale in 1989.
And she does this with the hairbrush, getting the hair out of the brush. All I've sacrificed for this is for family.
Initially, production took place in a small commercial studio in London, owned by the chosen director for Beauty and the Beast, Richard Purdom. This version was to closely follow the original fairy tale, and was not designed or written as a musical, and the story would have began as follows.
Once upon a time, there was a wealthy merchant whose wife died and left him alone with 2 children.
A merchant named Maurice and his 2 daughters live in a mansion, including his oldest and brightest Belle, whose lives are interrupted by his very snobby and high-class sister.
Maurice, I knew you must be lonely in that big house, brother dearest. So I'm moving in to help you with the children.
She decides to come live with his family to help raise his daughters, but tragically, Maurice's ships are destroyed in a terrible storm, and his family is forced into a riches-to-rags situation.
Happy birthday, Belle. This was given to your mother on her 17th birthday.
Father.
Wind it up, wind it up.
On Belle's 17th birthday, Maurice presents her with a music box which belonged to her mother, but when financial troubles become even more severe, Maurice is forced to sell the family heirloom.
It's either sell the music box or Belle must marry someone rich. There's no other way.
You must sell it, Papa. It's all that's left.
Belle understands, and her only request is a single red rose on her father's journey. However, while Maurice is away, his sister arranges a meeting with a wealthy suitor anyway, and we're introduced to Gaston, an equally snobby and self-centered yet high-class man-child.
Your niece is trying my patience, madam. However, she's the only girl in the land who looks perfect on my arm.
After an incident where the music box is destroyed, Maurice becomes lost and is chased by a pack of wolves where he eventually stumbles upon the castle.
Wait, sir! Hello? Are you here, sir? Is that you, sir? Are you playing a game with me?
Once inside, and after several minutes of shenanigans where the objects toy with Maurice's sanity, he realizes they're all enchanted and is treated to a grand feast and a place to sleep.
Well, if this was a dream, it was very tasty.
The next morning as he heads back home, Maurice picks the rose for Belle from the castle's garden. He then encounters the Beast, who's furious that despite showing so much hospitality the night before, he's stealing from him. After pleading for his life, the Beast only allows Maurice to leave in exchange for his daughter Belle. So 17-year-old Belle leaves home to take his place, and that's about as much as we know as far as specific story elements of the original version.
I must add that there's another version where Belle has 2 sisters, like the original story, that are like mean. Like, they beg her to stay to make the Beast angry so that he would eat her. So yeah.
The animation would have focused almost solely on Belle and the Beast, with virtually no interaction between the magical furniture and objects within the castle, since none of them could actually speak. It was also much darker and serious, especially in the latter half of the animation.
He sees the wolves, kind of showing the wolves like coming right up the camera, like going right at him. And then the horse comes up and is riding backwards on the horse. Now yeah, that's funny.
After 6 months of work on Beauty and the Beast, the first 20 minutes were screened for Disney executives who were very unimpressed and demanded the animation start over from scratch. The original director was either let go or resigned from the project, and in his place were the directors of the film used in Epcot's Cranium Command.
We learned that there had been turnover with the creative leads, and they were they were minus a director again. We were not the first choice.
The next version of Beauty and the Beast saw Belle's aunt reworked into the equally self-centered and rather annoying sisters, Marie and Antoinette. The objects in the castle still had no dialogue or personality, but as an attempt to fix the lack of interactions, Belle was given a cat named Napoleon. He, or she, would provide both comedic relief and a way for Belle to relate to the audience about her thoughts and feelings. But while definitely an improvement, this version still just wasn't working. Also not working was the character design of the Beast, as by this point had the appearance of a buff Rafiki from a future Disney animation. Eventually, lyricist Howard Ashman and Alan Menken joined Beauty and the Beast and reworked it as a musical, and it was this much-needed change in direction that elevated the entire story. Belle's sisters and aunt were cut all together, along with the whole suitor plot. Gaston became more of a villain, and Maurice's riches-to-rags story was abandoned. More importantly was fleshing out everything between Belle and the Beast at the castle, along with giving the enchanted objects individual personalities and a voice. Of course, the rest is history, as the animation became an instant classic, and the scrapped original version is an incredible example of when a story has the potential, but just needs the right focus.
Ah.
The troubled history of Frozen dates all the way back to the 1930s, as Walt Disney decided to adapt the tale of the Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen. It was even given a production number in 1939 of 1092. However, adapting the story of the Snow Queen proved very difficult, so to provide a little context on why it was so difficult, here's a brief summary of the fairy tale. Once upon a time, the devil creates a magic mirror which distorts every reflection to only show the bad and ugly instead of the good and beautiful. The devil tries to take the mirror up to heaven, but the mirror shatters into millions of pieces, and occasionally these get into people and turn their hearts cold as ice. The story then follows Kai and Gerda, childhood friends with an inseparable bond. However, one day as they're catching snowflakes, a piece of the mirror gets in Kai's eye, and he becomes mean and cruel and runs away. Eventually, his cold heart calls to the Snow Queen, who demonstrates some of her magic powers and invites Kai to her ice palace to spend the rest of his life by her side. The rest of the story follows Gerda searching for Kai and encountering magical creatures and characters of fantasy. After a long journey, she finally reaches the Queen's palace, or ice castle, and finds Kai alone on a frozen lake. By the warmth of her tears, she melts his cold heart and breaks the spell, and the two live happily ever after. The problem of adapting the story was that the most cinematic elements, at least in the Disney sense, involve the Snow Queen, her magic powers, and her ice palace. However, her motivations are vague, background is muddled, is sorta evil but not really evil, and is barely in the fairy tale or have any real conclusion. So the Snow Queen as a feature animation was abandoned, but in the 1940s was to be part of a collaboration between Disney and MGM as a biopic about Hans Christian Andersen. Disney would animate the fairy tales, and MGM would film the live-action portions. However, ultimately this fell through, though MGM would still make the live-action portion to critical acclaim.
There once was an ugly duckling, with feathers all stubby and brown.
Over 2 decades later, the Snow Queen was brought back to life as a potential Disney theme park attraction, simply known as the Enchanted Snow Palace. Unfortunately, much like the animated film, this was also put on indefinite hold. But Mark Davis's concept art gives us an idea of the incredible experience it could have been. In the 1990s, at the height of the Disney animation Renaissance era, the Snow Queen was revived once again, but the problem of telling a compelling story revolving around the Snow Queen still persisted and was again abandoned. However, the Snow Queen was revived once more around 2003, and this time got much farther in production as more artistic license was taken with the source material. Details are sketchy, but it seems this version had a plot revolving around the Snow Queen being, a terrible trying to find a suitor, and she freezes all of them until a regular guy comes around and melts her frozen heart. This version had the Snow Queen give life to a snowman and would have featured a host of other characters whose plot is unknown. By this point, Gerda was renamed Anna, and Kai became Kristoff, and since the whole devil mirror aspect was abandoned, they'd have a different story altogether. Interestingly, this was also potentially going to involve Pixar as their first princess story, as at the time traditional animation, at least by Disney, was starting to be seen as a dying art form. Ultimately, this version was also cancelled, more than likely due to the fallout between Pixar and Disney. A few years later, the animation was revived yet again, and this time was to be directed by Pocahontas co-director Mike Gabriel as a follow-up to The Princess and the Frog.
It looks like this could take some time.
There was even going to be a stage show tie-in in Tokyo DisneySea, and both the musical and film was to involve musical genius Alan Menken as part of a multi-picture deal to return to the company. Even at D23 2009, the Snow Queen was still going strong as concept art was shown during a panel. Unfortunately, with the lackluster performance of Princess and the Frog later that year, essentially all fairy tales, especially those involving traditional animation, were put on hold. In 2011, the troubled animation was revived one final time, but this time as a CGI animation. However, filmmakers still really struggled with the character of the Snow Queen, whether she'd be a villain or an over-the-top personality inspired by Bette Midler. I'm not making that up. However, one suggestion at a brainstorming session changed everything. What if Anna and the Snow Queen were sisters?
We took the original theme from the original Snow Queen, and that was love conquers negativity. So we took basic things, combined characters, and tried to somewhat simplify the story, and then we added a lot of humor to it also.
Ultimately, the final version of the Snow Queen, renamed as Frozen, would only be loosely inspired by the original source material, but creative liberties like this were essential in moving the animation forward. So it seems at the end of the day, Disney made the right decision as far as the Snow Queen in refusing to let it go. Oh come on, I had to make at least one Frozen joke.
So yeah. Okay, Ghost Stories and my beautiful Kuchiseka Anna. To be honest, I think they should release it now. Even if we only get a dub. But here's something funny. Someone actually claimed to watch the Spanish dub of the episode. And my beautiful Kuchiseka Anna attempts to depict the Kuchiseka Anna urban legend. Kuchiseka Anna translates to the slit-mouthed woman. According to folklore, she would stalk an area in a large overcoat and a surgical mask. She would ask children if she was beautiful or not, and regardless of their reply, would normally kill them after revealing her disfigured ear-to-ear slit of her mouth. It is unlikely that Fuji TV will release the episode due to the controversy, and it's unknown if they even still have a copy of it. Here we go. We don't even see her slit mouth. Let me see. Hannah Montana. This one is lost. News of the show leaked in May 2010 through a thread posted on the Daizenshuu X, now known as Kanzenshuu, forms, a fan site developed towards the Dragon Ball media franchise. In it, Wasted Wisher, an animator of Toei Animation Philippines, leaked the existence of a new Dragon Ball production meant to be a tie-in for a video game. This will later be revealed as Dragon Ball: The Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans, which was bundled with the 2010 PlayStation 3/Xbox 360 release Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2. Neither Toei or Disney publicly acknowledged the production. Wasted Wisher was later fired after Toei discovered he was behind a number of leaks, including production help for then unannounced Dragon Ball projects. They were working on a music video. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna talk about the Sailor Moon thing sometime. Once I get to it. I'm also gonna be talking about Jimmy Two Shoes. It's Lost. A 6-minute long pilot, specifically an investigative test animation for the series, was created in 2006. The pilot's premise was drastically different from the final version and revealed that the show was originally intended for an older audience. The show would have been set in hell. I wish we could watch the pilot, to be honest. Kyuubi no Kitsune to Tobimaru. It's lost. Tobimaru is a young emperor of Japan. He meets a mysterious woman named Tamamo. After successfully seducing Tobimaru, she brings great misfortune onto the land. When Gentaro Nakajima joined Dai Film, he had an idea to make a live-action adaptation of the novel Tamamo no Mae, written by Kiko Okamoto. Little woman. It's partially bound. So yeah. Magical Sweet Prism Nana. It's partially found. On August 1st, 2012, Shaft announced a new anime project with the codename Prism Nana Project on their official website. Pokemon Computer Warrior Porygon, aka Electric Soldier Porygon. It's actually 2 people or 3 people have confirmed that it does exist. But wait. Here's the thing though. Veronica may have said the first time that they had never done the episode, but here's the thing. In another interview, she said she doesn't know. And now here we go, Sailor Moon. There's actually 2 live-action Sailor Moon pilots. This one is partially found. The high cost of the project led to its rejection in favor of a dubbed version of the original Japanese anime. I'm only playing a few seconds of it. Yeah, Luna was gonna be white for an unknown reason. Like, Luna's supposed to be black, not white.
Sailor Moon is popular around the world, but before the anime was released in the teens, the full story of
Here's the other one.
It's time to fly, Team Angel. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's ride the sky, Team Angel. We're gonna go where angels go. Team Angel. Fly on down and do what we do best. All for truth, peace and justice. We're gonna go.
So yeah. Next we have Tattoo Paragate. It's lost. Okay. Next we have Mermaid Melody. It's partially found. Here's the pitch trailer.
What if you save somebody's life? And what if, when you saved his life, you gave away a little part of yourself? That was when I fell in love for the first time. And what if now you had to get that part of you back?
I'm only showing 30 seconds of it. Next we have Precure. Says partially found, lost, and existence unconfirmed. There's like 10 lost media for this one. Okay. Here's Splash Star.
A hero is inside us all. Meet two girls who are about to become legendary warriors. From the creators of the hugely successful Pretty Cure series, Toei Animation presents the latest exciting adventure, Pretty Cure Splash Star!